Hello everyone. Well, today I thought I'd show you a little pattern. And it's a simple one. It's just 4 notes. And if you can find those 4 notes and remember this pattern, there's a lot of information you can gain about the fingerboard that you're playing every day when you play this wonderful thing called a guitar. Now, I don't know how many of you out there are gardening, but you know that when you're putting a plant in the ground, you're concerned about that root. You want to make sure it has lots of room to spread out. Well, it's not that much different on the guitar. You have to be concerned about that root note. In doing so, you can find your way around and you can play fingerstyle and play melodies and solos and all kinds of things once you start learning where the notes are and how it fits in a pattern. I like patterns because I can remember them. And I'm going to show you one today. And like I said, it's only 4 notes. That's it, just 4 notes. If you can remember these 4 notes and where I'm going to place them, you will find your way a little bit better. It's not the end all, but it's just one more piece of the puzzle. And we're going to start out with G, okay? So here's the G. I know it's G. We know the strings are E, A, D, G, B, E in standard tuning, right? And so we know that's the E, and this is the E. And so if you know that this is E, then you know that if you go up 1 fret, because E to F is 1 fret, it's an F. So you know that you go up 1 fret to F, go up 2 frets, you got G. So now we know where our G's at. Now, E to F is always 1 fret, and B to C is always 1 fret when you're working your way up the fingerboard, okay? So E to F, 1 fret, G, A, B, and then B to C is 1 fret. Everything else is 2 frets, okay? I hope I said that right. Sometimes I think I'm saying something and it's not what I'm meaning, okay? But if you can remember E to F, B to C, you know those are only 1 fret. Everything else is 2 frets. And you can work your way up a string and find all these notes, right? Okay, so E to F and then G. Okay, we're going to work off of the G. And I just want you to look at this pattern, and we're going to play these 4 notes, and we're going to learn these 4 notes. And then we're going to see how it fits on the fingerboard, okay? All right, so this is G. And if you go up 1 more fret, you got an A, right? So G to A. Little jaws there, I think. All right, so then you move over 1 string, and there it is right there, right? Okay, so that is C to D. I know it's a C because A, B, and then B to C is 1 fret, right? All right, so B to C, there's C. A C and there's a D, all right? So we got C to D. Okay, so we have the next string over is C to D. I know it's a C because when I play the C chord, that root note is right there and it's there too. I just happen to know that. I could figure it out too because this is an A string, A, B, B, and then 1 fret of C. So if that's C, that has to be D. So we know now, this is G, this is A, this is C, this is D. We know that. It's an interesting, well, I'll hold off on that a second. G, A, C, D, right? Okay. So that's good. If you can remember the pattern, even if you can't say the notes, just remember this rectangular pattern. See it? That's all you have to remember is this, okay? And that this is your G. Okay, now that repeats. It's just a different octave, okay? And so we're going to go with it, and this works every time, is we have to remember that this G note can always be repeated. If you move over to the 4th string, you skip a string, right? And you just move over stay to the 5th fret. You notice you have dots on there too. You know, that helps a little bit where we're working at. But there we are on the 5th fret, and there's the octave higher, G and G. So there's G and there's G, and we know that pattern works there. Well, guess what? Off of that G, same thing. G, D, C, or G, G, A, C, D, G, A, C, D. It's a repeat, just an octave higher. Okay, so now we know there's a G here. Well, we can find another G just by moving over to the 2nd string. Okay, we're counting 1, 2, 3, the string's this way. So 2nd string, or skip a string again and go to the next string. And then move down 4 frets. You know, because of that B string being so strange, the way its standard tuning is, you know, you're always off a fret, so you have to move up 4 instead of 3. So it kind of loses its pattern, but not completely. But now we know there's a G here too. And it just so happens, if you know where that G is, that same pattern works. There it is again. So we have, it's all the same. And so now we know here's a G, here's a G, here's a G. We know that here's a C, here's a C, and here's a C, and here's a C, right? Because we know this pattern. It works if you move up. Let's move to A flat. Almost threw off there. Okay? So that's the pattern I wanted to show you. Okay? If you can remember that, you can always find your notes, the same notes. Okay? All right. Now, here's another thing that I think is interesting about this. Now, when we're playing the guitar, we commonly play in a pattern called the 1-4-5, right? A lot of songs are written there. G, C, D, 1-4-5. What do I mean by that? Well, let's use the old finger here. We'll call this the root, the pinky, the root, right? This is our number 1. Okay, so 1 is the G note, right? So the 4 would be 2, 3, 4, or G, A, B, C. The 4 would be C. Did you get that? 1, 2, 3, 4, G, A, B, C. The 4 is C. And then the 5th would be D. Well, we happen to see that here, G, and then we said this was C, and that's D. The 1-4-5 is here. That means it's here. It's here. G, C, D, G, C, D, G, C, D, G, C, D. Do you get that? G, C, D. The pool guy's here. You'll just have to put up with the barking. Sorry. They come and the dogs just go nuts at the door. And there's nothing I can do about it. All right. So I'm not going to try because we're almost through with this. So that's what I wanted to show you. And you can work this. Whoops. And you can see the 1-4-5, and you can figure by knowing 1-4-5 and knowing your root, you can figure your notes anywhere on the fingerboard because you know the 1-4-5 everywhere. So that means if you go up here to the A chord, that's going to be the 1-4-5. You'll notice I'm leaving off of this, the second note of our pattern. I'm just showing you that there's a pattern within the pattern, and it's called the 1-4-5 pattern. At least that's what I'm naming it. because with that, it helps me find notes on the guitar. All right? So I'll let you digest that. Think about it a little bit and play around with it, but especially play around with this. Because when you're playing, it's nice to be able to play the same thing in a different place. It kind of gives the song a little different flavor to it. Instead of playing in the same place all the time, you're just playing here. I don't know. I'm just trying to think. It just playing in different places on your fingerboard adds spice to your playing. So knowing that you can repeat it in different places, and you've got these little 4 notes, you can play off of those if you know your root note. Okay? All right. Well, that's as far as I'm going to go with it. I don't know if I lost you, if you got it, but if you just got this, I'm happy. And if you got this too, 1, 4, 5, I'm happier. All right. I'm going to leave it right there. And I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are in this world. Oh, the road trip's coming. I'm going to see you on the road very soon. And we're going to go to some guitar stores. All right. See you later.